these larger loans. And Cathy went from 1996 and smaller loans to just recently a very large loan. And this is, as we've talked about, Cathy Schueler with Bosque Mental Health. And it's wonderful having you. So before you speak, we just want to welcome you and thank you.
Thanks. Well, I'm so impressed with the growth of Accion because when I first started, you guys were in a small bank downtown, and I didn't remember Marisa until she popped her head in the door just a minute ago, and I'm kind of mind blown at the moment that I've been with you guys for so long. So my first loan was back in 1996, and I think it was $3,000 to $5,000. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was just a godsend to me at the time. I was a sole proprietor as a psychotherapist in private practice, and it really helped me through. And I just love the idea of Accion. I've been studying microlending for since Mohammed's unit and the Grameen Bank, and so this was a perfect choice for me way back then. And recently then, about 6 months ago, I started business coaching with Mark and Nicole Tobiasen at Accion Coach. And they led me this direction. I started with the SBA and I missed a loan by about that much. And they said, well, Accion, go to those guys. I was like, oh, of course, what was I thinking? So I'm really happy to, be here with you guys and be back and taking on this whopping loan, which kind of makes me sweaty. But Justin was amazing to work with. Walked me straight through everything, was in touch with me, was asking questions, questions I wasn't even anticipating. He was helping me with.
Sure what you said. I'm sorry.
So, I'm just very, very happy to be back here, and I'm happy to answer anything that you might.
You want to show kind of where
sure.
you were and where you're coming to, and how many therapists now work with you?
Yeah. So this is now. Is this where I go?
Yeah.
Over here. Okay. This is where I was. This is my brochure from the place where I just exited. This was a picture. This is a picture of the front door out in Los Ranchos and North 4th, and it was very helpful for then. And now this is what you helped me buy, and I want to show you a picture of it because it's. Let's see, how do I angle
there
it?
we go. Yeah, that's good. It's beautiful tile.
Wait, I'm kind of off.
There you go.
There it is. It's very stunning. This is the receptionist area, and then over here is the fountain that you can see back through past the receptionist area. Indoor fountain. It's a gorgeous upscale building, and we haven't had a single person who's come in there who hasn't kind of dropped their jaw and said, "Oh my gosh!" We had one client who came in recently who said to a therapist, and the therapist let me know. Does this mean that I'm going to have to start paying more for my sessions? No, you're good. So thank you so much. I so appreciate Accion. I'm happy to help you guys in whatever way you may need me to help you.
How many therapists do you have now?
Well, we were figuring it out. All told, we have 14 people on staff. I'm the executive director. I have an administrative manager, an administrative assistant, and then everyone else is therapists. And I still see a couple of people so I can keep my finger in the pie. But I'm way too busy to see very many anymore. So we've got quite a staff. Yeah. And I would welcome all of you to just drop in and see the place at any time.
Cathy, where is the place now?
It's it's on Homestead Road, which is it connects San Mateo and Montgomery. It's in the southeast corner. It's a medical facility area back in there, and so a lot of people know it. And of course, we're going to market to that whole area, bring in people.
Do you mind passing one of your brochures around?
Sure, I can pass,
Can
I can pass, yeah, I'll pass all of them,
Okay.
different directions.
Great. And Cathy, what would you say distinguishes your services from maybe just some other organization? Like we were talking about my mom who has a little house and 4 therapists.
Right.
So what is it about Bosque Mental Health that really distinguishes you from other organizations like you?
Well, one of the things that we do is we really are customer service oriented. So when
Mhm.
people walk in the door, or even before they walk in the door, our administrative manager who answers the phone really does a very thorough and great and very friendly, just kind of an initial information information gathering.
Mhm.
And if someone is not suited to what it is that we offer, she helps them in whatever way they need to go anywhere they may need to go.
Mhm.
And then we also, just provide service that is, well, totally user-friendly. And we don't want people to be upset or concerned, and mental health is not something that is very easy to
Mhm.
access or want to talk about.
Mhm.
So we make sure that we're as comfortable as we can possibly be.
Mhm.
And then we walk them through the entire process, through the end, and make sure that they're off to a good start somewhere else afterward.
Good.
So,
Any other questions? Marisa?
I've been reading more and more about isolation and loneliness, especially for sole proprietors. When the business is
Oh,
small
yes.
and there aren't people on your team
Right.
yet. And I'm just wondering if there might be down the road opportunities, Cathy, for us to have you speak to a group of our clients about things that people can do to take care of themselves when they're wearing all of those hats.
I'd be happy to. And there's also an organization that I just am off the board of just now. I'm the former president. It's the Southwest Independent Practice Association. And that organization is for people who are sole proprietors or behavioral health therapists who are out there, on their own. And one of the big things that we do is networking, and we provide education for continuing education credits, and we also just take care of people who are in need of having. We set up contracts for those people too through the insurance agency. So almost forgot that one. Contracting, networking, and education for people who are in private practice. So, but I'd be happy to speak with people
I
about.
just think so many of the entrepreneurs we work with would benefit from knowing, one, that you made it after starting 20 years ago.
Yeah.
You've stuck with it, and
Yeah.
my goodness, what a service you're bringing to the community.
Thanks.
And a difference you're making. And then just given what you specialize in, having other entrepreneurs hear from you about things they can do to bust through any isolation that
Sure.
might be holding them back.
I'd be happy to speak to people.
Great.
Awesome.
Any other questions? Or questions from those of you who are on the screen? And Chris King is over on the right in that little square from Tucson, so welcome. And we have our intern on the far left, so that's how you moved, Chris, from one screen to the other. Hi. Well, I have a question too, which I thought would be asked, but now I'll make sure to ask it.
Okay.
What do you see that we could be doing better or differently, or what things should we really make sure that we keep doing
Okay.
to ensure that we have a client like you who was with us in 1996 and almost a decade later, maybe 100% increase in the loan amount?
Yeah, actually 2 decades.
2
later.
decades.
2 decades later, that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah,
What
my
years?
gosh.
Boy.
I've been here a decade, but I've known Anne since she started the organization, so.
Yeah. So, I think the thing that would be most helpful would be, I lost contact with Accion, and you lost contact with me. Of course, I've moved a couple of times since then, but, just staying in contact with past recipients of your great grants, or not grants, a big business, but
That's
loans.
great to hear.
It does. I was granted a miracle. That's what it was. So, yeah. So I would say that would be really a wonderful thing to do, because you offer a lot of services that I don't know about, and it'd be helpful to know. what those things are. Over the years, I probably would have accessed you more had I known. So that's what I would say.
Great.
Other questions on screen, on the phone?
Should I just ask the one last question that Anne always asks? Do you want to ask it?
You go ahead.
This is the magic question.
Oh boy.
What are your dreams and what is your vision for the future?
Oh,
And how do
okay.
you see, given that Accion maybe can be a part of that as well?
Okay. Well, you know, yeah, my dream is that we are going to grow. I have a 5-year plan that I've worked out with Accion Coaching. And, you know, I plan to have Bosque Mental Health become one of the premier organizations that people go to for outpatient behavioral health counseling. And then, you know, my ultimate dream is to sell the business. And I don't know what that's going to mean. I haven't decided what I'll do at that point, but you know, it's so much fun. My dream is to employ more people, to have you know, the health and well-being of the therapists be a primary priority for me and for the business, and from them that it spreads out to anyone who comes in contact with those people who are part of Bosque Mental Health. That's my ultimate dream. I really want to support therapists who do really hard work to help people be well. So financially supporting them is a great goal of mine.
Cathy, if you had to estimate over the last 2 decades, how many people have your therapist and you served in the community with mental health services?
Oh, that's a very good question. Let's see, if I were to add up the numbers, I would probably say somewhere north of 5,000 people in the community.
I mean, I think that's really profound. For those of you who heard the head of the Mental Health Association of Colorado speak to our board in Denver last month, you will know that there's such a high percentage of people who need access to mental health services and do not know about them, do not get them, or there are barriers to accessing them. And yet, issues around mental health affect everybody. There is nobody who is unaffected by a family member, a neighbor, a friend, themselves, or violence in the community from people who have mental health issues that have not been addressed. And so just knowing the impact that you've made over 2 decades in reaching out to 5,000 people who are connected to so many other people is really cool.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Well, thanks so much, Cathy, and it was great having you. I hope you don't mind if we have this video on YouTube and on our website, and
Sure,
not
no.
only all of these folks seeing it, but again,
great.
as another way to support our clients and would-be clients so that they know about our services
You
and our
bet.
support.
You know, one thing I forgot to mention to you is, and this is in part because of the great move that I've been able to make because of you guys. We now have a nurse practitioner who is with us, who is a prescribing behavioral health practitioner, and that is sorely needed in this community. So we have opened that up to the community. Anyone who wants to or needs to get someone in for prescriptions, we have that. So.
Right. Well, again,
I wanna
thanks so
clap
much.
again.
I know. We're glad that we'll have your information with you, and we'll head out of the meeting.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.